Hi, this week I watched the film Corner Office, a surreal comic drama based on the novel The Room by Jonas Carlson and starring Jon Hamm. He plays Byron. No, he doesn't. He plays Orson. So, how rare the character's name comes up. He plays Orson, who is starting work at a new company, the Authority Incorporated, where his work seems to involve a lot of paperwork, of general office tedium, uh, filling out files and checking copiers for having enough toner and enough paper. And he's determined to get on in the world. He's determined to advance and move to a position of responsibility and power over his fellow workers. And one day, while looking for the copier paper, he finds a room near his own office area. And this room is an opulent office. It's furnished in a very classically mid-century style, wood paneling, tasteful paintings, books, records. It is the perfect environment for an executive who is serious and respected, but also respectful to his staff and a benevolent but hard-working boss. And Orson feels completely at ease and completely comfortable in this environment. And he starts to spend more and more time in the office and finds that it helps him in his work. It allows him to be his best self in the office environment, even though his colleagues are complaining that whenever he's in the office, they say he's actually just standing facing a blank space of wall between the elevator and the toilets. And the situation continues with Orson unable to understand why his colleagues are trying to sabotage him as he spends more time there and gradually becomes an important figure in the company, um, leading to an inevitable crash. Um, the casting of Jon Hamm in this film I thought was extremely interesting because Hamm is always playing people in control, people of power. In Mad Men, in The Morning Show, in the series Your Friends and Neighbors, he is a man frustrated by his removal from power and determined to regain it. Um, in Fargo, he plays a sheriff. Even in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, he plays the leader of a cult. But here he's a downtrodden office schlub, and his body completely changes. His hair is shaggier. Has a moustache. He takes little small steps and seems much more cowed and quiet. And it's a really subtle but clever shift in performance. The whole environment I felt was very reminiscent of the Apple series Severance, although this was apparently shot at the same time as that first series. The story never leaves the office environment. We sometimes go out to the car park and we maybe see a little of the outside of the building, but otherwise it's entirely contained inside the work environment. We never see anything that Orson does at home. We are not aware of him having any home life at all, aside from him having access to a car, which we're never told even if it's his or not. Um, the result is something really interesting. It's a, a Kafkaesque story of the modern office environment. Um, there is ambiguity over whether or not the room is real, um, how that's affecting Orson's psychology and his behavior and his belief in his entitlement to advancement in the office environment. And the result is a really interesting psychological story that is still poking in those barbs about contemporary office life. Um, it's a very, very strong script. I think a very strong lead performance by Jon Hamm. It's a very unusual film, and it's a pity that it disappeared without trace. I mean, apparently it had a very minor release in the US and went straight to streaming everywhere else. But it's a fascinating film and a very engaging one. I'd recommend it highly.